Hi, I'm Laurie Kotzer for Foresight Accounting. In this section, I'll talk about how to grow your business and investments. Let's talk about the 5 things that business people don't do. First of all, they don't do enough marketing. So basically, they're firefighting the business, working within the business, and usually there's no time for marketing. So therefore, if you don't market, you can't create more sales, therefore your business doesn't grow. So what we're able to do is you need to align yourself with a good digital marketer. You don't have to spend huge amounts of time on social media. You just need to do mainly Facebook paid ads or LinkedIn paid ads, which can identify your direct market and work with digital marketers to be able to do that. We do have digital marketers on our panel that can assist people with your growth. The second problem with small business is a cash problem or cash flow issue. So there's a misconception in the thinking that as a business grows, then you're able to be more cash positive. That's actually not the case, because in a lot of cases you can actually tighten your money, because a lot of your money can be held in stock and debtors, and therefore you need more funding to be able to grow the business. So you need sometimes unsecured funding. People that might not have a property where you can secure against to be able to raise money for a business. So there's unsecured funding such as debtors funding. There's business angels that also can inject some capital for some shares. And there's also people that give unsecured loans. They're usually at very high rates, but that can work depending on what the use of the funds are. The third problem with small business is people. So they usually got the wrong people working for them, and that can be very destructive to a business, especially if it's a smaller operation where there's only less than 5 people. So you need to move on people and try to get better people in your business quickly, rather than suffer the pain for years and years and years trying to get them productive. The fourth is most business people just don't act on their ideas. They've got a lot of ideas, but they never do anything about it. So it's always a thought in their head, and they're not able to create it in reality. So that's probably the biggest downfall for most small businesses as well, including their marketing. And the fifth problem that small businesses do is they don't invest outside their own business. So they assume that the business is all their investments that's going to pay for all their retirement. And what they might find at the age of 65, that the business is not valued what they thought it'd be, they're not going to get the price they're going to get they were expecting, and they don't have any other assets besides their own home to be able to support their retirement, which means as a small business you need to invest outside your business, which brings me to my next point, which is investments. So these investments is for everybody. First of all, with investments, we'll talk about property, for example, because I know that's usually people's favourite topic. Are we in a property bubble? I believe we are in a property bubble, despite what the media says and all these comments saying that it's all justified. And well, I think it's definitely a bubble. It's backed on by low interest rates, household debt's gone through the roof. So we are in a property bubble. So you've got to be very careful what you buy these days and what you invest in. So in this sort of market, what would you invest in and how would you invest? Well, the first thing I think you need to do, if you're going to become an investor in this sort of market, have a large deposit or have a high saving capacity. So don't highly leverage yourself or borrow too much money. That's my first point. So that way you're able to, whatever you buy, you're able to have a good saving capacity where you can knock the loan down quickly. Especially with the threat of rising interest rates. The second point is you need something that's high yielding, so you need a property that's above 5%. There are properties, mostly now to Melbourne, that give you a 5% return. What I mean by that is, well, on 400,000 will give you $20,000 rent, which is 5%. Also, new property, despite what people say, new property has this advantage over old. There's always a new and old argument. The good thing with new property is it can add 2.5% to your yield, because when you buy a new property, the government will give you around $6,000 a year to most people. And if you add that onto your $20,000 of rent, it's $26,000 of rent on 400, which brings the yield above 7%. So in this sort of market where there's a threat of falling housing prices, which is definitely on the cards, if you're able to get 7.5% a year, in 5 years that's 37.5% return. And if the market was to fall by 10%, you're still ahead on your investment, which means that it's still a good place to park your money. And then the other thing is you've got to watch with your rent is, even though property prices can go up and down and vary, I mean in the long term we know they all go up, because we had a good run, they could come down in the next 5 years, I believe. However, if you've got a good yield, that's great. But you've got to also watch for the rent you're receiving, able to protect the rent that you're getting today. So you have to look at the vacancy rates in the area to make sure that there's not too many properties being built, and therefore the rents can come down, or you can have an empty house for a while. That could be quite destructive. So as long as so we do have a property advisory section which can advise you what sort of properties and get the yield you want. We also have a stock of properties we can suggest that you buy, and justify our reasoning and do our research to provide you the information to show that it is a viable thing for you and it works for you. And last and not least, make sure that you insure yourself if you buy a property. You've got the necessary insurances such as income protection, etc. A lot of people buy property but don't upgrade their insurances. So if they were to have a work injury their saving capacity drops and therefore they can't support the property. So you need to insure yourself as well. So thanks for listening on this section, which is business growth and investment growth options. Feel welcome to subscribe to our website. We'll be delivering other little topics like this, or attend one of our seminars. And if you scroll down our page slightly, you'll see a contact or a booking thing where you can book us online or call us for an appointment, and we can give you a 1 hour free consultation so we can discuss all these matters a bit further with you. Thanks very much. Thanks for listening. Laurie from Foresight Accounting. Thank you.